Welcome to Shom Achshav on the Daf. We're holding in Zevachim Daf Zayin. The Gemara Amud Beis wants to prove that an Olah, Korban Olah, is a doiron. It's a gift. Why? Because if a person didn't do tshuva on said that he transgressed, so then Zevachim Toeva, the korban is not a korban. And if he did do tshuva, he doesn't have to bring a korban. So you see from here, the Korban Olah is a doiron. Now the Achronim ask several questions on this concept of the Gemara. We'll mention two of them. And they both go on the same idea that we don't have an idea of Zevach Rishayim Toeva in a case that a person just did an Aveira mitzvah. The Mishnah Lamelech in Hilchos Gogos Perigim Aloch Zayin, he proves the idea of Zevach Rishayim Toeva is only when someone is mumar lehachis. He's a mumar in order to anger and to go against and to rebel. But if he's a mumar l'te'avain, he's not considered to be Zevach Rishayim Toeva. So the Sefer Dam Zevachim, when Masechus Zevachim asks, so what is the problem? Let's say over here, he didn't do tshuva. It's not Zevach Rishayim Toeva, and that's where the Olah works. Similarly, the Minchas Chinuch, in Mitzvah Shin Samech Dalet, after he established the opinion of the Rambam, that a person who did tshuva, it's good, but you're still missing vidui. Until he doesn't do vidui, until he doesn't express, he doesn't say in the words that he's doing tshuva, it's not a full tshuva. So although he's a tzaddik gomer by doing tshuva, but he still he doesn't have a full kapara. So that's the Minchas Chinuch, he brings our Gemara and he asks, the Gemara is asking why by Olah you will need to bring an Olah. Maybe a person did tshuva in his heart, he didn't do vidui, so therefore he still doesn't have a kapara, he has to bring a korban. So the Achronim say an answer, it's brought down in Shiuri Hagrid on Zevachim, and Moshe Sternbuch says that in the Sefer Zivchei Kodesh, and others say the same idea. That there's two levels of Zevach Rishayim Toeva. There's a Zevach Rishayim Toeva that disqualifies a person from bringing a korban, because he does not qualify. He is a Rasha. That will be only Mumar Lahachis. That will be only someone didn't do any tshuva at all. He has a din of Zevach Rishayim Toeva. And that makes the korban pasul. The korban completely is disqualified. But if a person did do some tshuva, according to Minchas Chinuch, he did tshuva, he didn't do vidui. According to Mishnah Melech, he's not a mumar lehachis. So even though the korban is not pasul, but it still doesn't give full kapar to the person. As long as he's not fully did tshuva, the korban does not work. That's the second level of Zevach Rishayim Toeva. The Zevach Rishayim Toeva that's paisa the korban, the Zevach Rishayim Toeva, even if something small, a person did not do a full tshuva, he doesn't have the full Zevach Rishayim Toeva. And this inyan connects to the Yesod of Rosh Hashanah, the way I heard it from my Rebbe Moshe Shapiro Zatzal. Because the Rambam in Hilchos Tshuva Perigimel, when he speaks about how a person is defined as a tzaddik or a rasha, he says that tzaddik is someone who's roiv schuyos, more mitzvahs than averis. So a rasha is more averis than mitzvahs. And that's the din of Rosh Hashanah. Goes with the Gemara that we know in Masechus Rosh Hashanah, that says that tzaddikim nidorim l'chaim, rishoyim nidorim l'mavis. What's the tzaddikim rishoyim over there? Roiv mitzvahs is the sefer chaim. Roiv averis is the sefer of rishoyim. That's how you define it. So as for Moshe Shapiro Zatzal, since when in Yiddishkeit we go based on the majority? Moshe Rabbeinu, for example, he was a tzaddik gomer. There was one aveir where he was punished for. Because you have majority mitzvahs, so that's how you define, that's how you need doing l'chaim. L'chor has to do it. A person has some aveiros, he has to fix the aveiros. So Moshe explained that we know the Rambam in Hilchos Tshuva Perek Aleph, he says that the ikar tshuva is the vidui. And if he didn't do vidui, so there's no tshuva. That's how the Minchas Chinuch, we mentioned before, he learns in the Rambam, the vidui is the ikar tshuva. So the Ran and others ask on the Rambam, what about the Gemara in Kiddushin Daf Mem Tes? The Gemara says that someone does Kiddushin, and he says, Al Minat Shani Tzadik, he says, I'm giving Kiddushin if I'm a Tzadik. Even though he's a Rosh Gomer, Mikudeshes, we choishesh to Kiddushin, Shema Hira Tshuva B'daitoi. Maybe he thought Tshuva, maybe he had in mind to do Tshuva. So Shaila is, so what if he had in mind to do tshuva, but he didn't say vidui? So said Rav Moshe, and this is really what the Minchas Chinuch says over there in Mitzvah Shin Samach Dalet. There's two pchinas of what we're judging a person. There's a pchina of if a person is a tzaddik or a rasha, how he defines himself. Are you considered to be a tzaddik or a rasha? What is your category? That a person could change with a hiru b'alma. He just has a thought, from now on I'll be good, he changes to be a tzaddik. then there is a kapara on a specific maise. You want to come and rectify this maise? So there you have to go and do the darkei tshuva, and one of them is vidui. So there's to correct one maise and fix it, but there's another judgment of who are you? How do you define yourself? And that's the answer in the Rambam. Hiru tshuva can change a person, but to go and fix a maise, to go and correct a deed, you have to have vidui. And that's the pshat in Rosh Hashanah. And in Rosh Hashanah, the din is who are you? We're not dealing now with individual maisim. That will get to in Yom Kippur. Al Chet, Al Chet, Al Chet. Rosh Hashanah, we're dealing in Malchus Hashem and who's joining HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Melucha. Who is considered to be a tzaddik who's Mamlech Hashem in the world. That's why we go based on Roiv. The Roiv is not the number, as the Rambam himself says, is the quality. Where are you united to? How do you define yourself? And this is Mamish the Kud of the Achronim in our Sugya. There is a concept of a tzaddik or a Rasha. That a person is not a Rasha if he's not a Mumar Lahachis, as the Mishnah Melech says, or if he had Hiru Tshuva Belieber, as the Minchas Chinuch says. But he still didn't correct this mindset. This specific deed, you need to do vidui. Specific deed, you need to do full tshuva in order for it to work. Doesn't mean that you're defined as a Rasha. But still, this deed requires the vidui. So we found here, in the week that we're coming to Rosh Hashanah, a gewaltige connection between the daf and the moyed. Anyone who wants to join the Shomach Shove email list to WhatsApp, please email shomachshove@gmail.com.